Hello everybody, this is DeanoGTO, and today we're going to be looking at one of my games in the mighty IS-4. Now, the IS-4 is one of the older, I would say, tier 10 heavy tanks. It used to be a tier 9 heavy tank, although I never played it as a tier 9 heavy tank. I have only ever experienced it as a tier 10. And honestly, in my opinion, it's probably one of my favorite tier 10s in the game. Just personal feelings on the tank. It it just feels it feels almost perfect in terms of like the balance of armor, speed, and firepower. The only thing that's lacking a little bit is speed, but it has its side armor is only 25 millimeters thinner than the mouse, but it's actually able to hit 40 kilometers an hour, so it's nearly double. Like its top speed's more than double the top speed of the mouse's. If you don't know, and also this was also one of the huge bonuses, the IS-7 or the IS-7. We're talking about. But the IS-4, when it was converted to HD, the tracks, I don't know what happened, but things like the E100, things like the mouse, can't actually pin it with a standard round unless they're exceptionally lucky when you angle like this here. People instinctively aim for the tracks and fire there. And even this right here, I think is like 270mm effective or something like that there. This thing's armor is extremely strong, but it's primarily really strong versus things that are firing AP and standard APCR. Not really against the ultra high pen heat rounds and APCR rounds around at this tier. Those do fuck this thing up pretty bad, if I'm totally honest. But yeah, now I'm just gradually moving forward to shoot a shot in this T10. First shot of 469 damage, so already off to a good start with a high roll. I'm going to move forward towards D10. I have noticed that there is a T124 and a T28 prototype behind him, but right now I'm not too worried. And then the E100 spotted. So what I'm going to do basically here is just kind of just try and bully these guys as best I can. And this is the advantage of the IS-4. The IS-4's raw angling, even though you may think 140 millimeters of upfront plate armor sounds weak, trust me, it's not. The 140 millimeters, because you're able to angle it so sharply because the side armor is so strong, it's actually kind of bizarre. You ever come across an IS-6? You know, if an IS-6 angles like this here, you know this is the weakest part of the armor. Even though this thing technically it has the same sort of armor layout as an IS-6, the armor feels so much stronger. It really, really does. And it does have a roof weak point here, like the IS-3. That's one thing it does share in common with the IS-3. It does have a weak point here, but this area here and this area here are not weak points. And actually, I think the weak point here on the IS-4 in comparison to the IS-3, I think it's actually bigger on the IS-4, which is bizarre. But yeah, continuing with the fight. So E100 is now backing up. He is definitely using the 150mm, as you can tell by just the what do you call it in the end of the gun? What the hell do you call it? The breech. No, it's not the breech, is it? The muzzle on the end of the gun, that's it. And now there's an IS-4 in front of us, but T-20 prototype moved forward, so a stick shot in his face. So, we are now against two tier 10s, two tier 8s, and a tier 9, but the tier 9 is basically a tier 8 in this situation because he either has the BL9 or the D25T, because he only did 390 damage. I only blocked 300, and yes, I got shot in the ass by a teammate because I wasn't looking. I didn't realize he was aiming. I thought they'd both fired. Turned out he had not. My mistake on that one. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the T10. I can tell he was not using the top gun because I only blocked 390 damage with the first shot I took. With the first shot I took from him. And that's always something that's really useful about this game. For tier 9s in particular, you can tell which gun they're using by the amount of damage you've blocked, typically. And now the IS-3 is moving forward again. 503 damage. This gun hits so hard. Like, this gun, a lot of people will look at this gun and go, it's not that great. But this gun hits so hard whenever you get a lucky roll. This thing can easily hit for over 500. It's so satisfying to use, especially since the rate of fire is still pretty damn good. Like, even there just did 450 damage to T124, and T124 just took a massive shot into the M103. Now, the E100 right now is over angling. I know I can fire above his tracks, but straight through his side plate armor. If I hit his tracks there, that shot would have been absorbed. It took me a long time, way longer than it should have, to actually figure out that kind of weakness with the E100. And even with the low roll, I did 390 damage versus that E4. So these three guys are all being held back by me and an M103. The Emil 2 has run off. He's heading up towards the where the Batchat was last spotted, and the E4 just killed the M103. So I'm not alone. Well, I'm not completely alone, but the IS-3 just died, so now I am technically alone again, because those guys are all focused on the Ag Tiger. And now I'm taking a lot of hits and taking a lot of hits. I'm getting kind of nervous here, and then E4 starts closing the distance, and immediately focus on him to get rid of his gun, because his gun's massive and will do a lot of damage. So now the T10 is the next priority, purely because I can avoid getting shot from the E100 while killing the T10. And I'm nearly reloaded, and ouch, that hurt. That hurt a lot. And I killed the T10. So what the E100 did there is, remember the roof weak point I mentioned earlier? He has a 150mm gun, so he could actually overmatch the roof. Although I'm actually not 100% sure what thickness this is. Is this either like 45 or something like that there? So I guess it makes sense that the E100 was able to overmatch that, or he could have technically hit that there. It's kind of difficult to tell with that particular tracer. But yeah, the E100 does have the advantage in terms of overmatching capability. But now, if you look at my ammo count, I only have 4 AP shells remaining. And I can pin this guy reliably with AP. But if you look at the tanks remaining on the enemy team right here, there's a Jagd Tiger, a Ferdinand, and an E100. Those are the only tanks I can justify firing heat rounds at. So right now I'm honestly thinking, is it worth me trying to consistently put shots into this guy with AP and like wasting time and stuff like that there, or should I just load the heat rounds and use those instead? And as you're going to see, I'm going to decide to go for the heat rounds because I want to kill this guy. It is 9 to 9, even though I've done 7,000 damage, which is already a damage record for me, by the way. And the E100, he makes the cardinal mistake in an E100. Do not raise your gun in an E100. Back in the day, that wasn't a bad thing to do because the mantlet used to be bigger. But these days, that's one of the worst things you can do in an E100. Because raising the gun, because the mantlet is so small now, it just doesn't work well on that tank. Now, I've still got heat round loaded. I'm going to try and finish off this E100 because, well, I only have 9 shots remaining and there are still 3 tanks remaining. I have no idea how much health the Batchat has or how much health the Ferdinand has. And potentially those 2 tanks together can have like 2,300 health. And that would be close. If I miss a couple of shots, then I could definitely run out of ammo and that would be really, really bad. So I'm going to head back towards where the Batchat is currently, and the Ferdinand just killed a T-34. And the Ferdinand was spotted a while ago, but we have no idea what health he's on because I wasn't looking whenever he was spotted. So that's not exactly great for me. The Batchat, no idea what his health is at all. So we've been nerve-wracking right now because right now there's 4 of us remaining. GW Tiger got a team kill at some point that I didn't see, unfortunately. I don't know who he killed. But I'm still doing pretty good for the most part. I can tank 1 hit from the Batchat, and I have like a 20% chance of surviving, I would say, a Ferdinand shot. So the Batchat's on 619 health. The Emil thankfully managed to hit him at least once, leaves him on 200 health. And this right here is why I'm glad I still had the AP rounds remaining instead of just having purely heat rounds. Because a Batchat, if you don't know the Batchat, it's extremely easy for those things to just kind of bounce shots from time to time that you would not normally expect a Batchat to bounce, because they have just so much sloping on the upper front plate on the front. They can just randomly bounce shots, and because it's 50mm, it's just enough to be annoying for guns of roughly this caliber. I can only partially overmatch, can't fully overmatch. So this is the kind of situation I'm in right now. So I'm guessing the Batchat is going to come from this direction. Because, well, last time we spotted he was over here. I think he kind of started to move off in this direction from what I remember. And then he was going to head, like, my guess was he's going to head back down here. But if he came up behind me, I was basically screwed. So I was just kind of thinking, I will stay near the base and I will head towards the base so that the GW Tiger will spot the Batchat if he comes up behind me. And I will kill the Batchat if he comes right in front of me, because he is a one shot for me. And I have AP rounds. And oh my god, that scared the shit out of me in this game. Honestly, if I had a heat round, there was a chance, not a big chance, but there was a chance that could have been absorbed by his gun, or oh my god, I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. He did 425 damage to me, left me on 40 health. And then I even write in the chat here now 30 HP because I was writing while that shot hit. Oh my god, that game could have ended so easily. If that was the old artillery, I would have been dead, and this game would not have ended the way it did. So, Ferdinand, we now know, is on full HP, and I am going to kind of be a bit indecisive here because we have no idea where the GW Tiger is going to go to, and I tell my GW Tiger to fall back a bit because I need him to stay alive. If he dies, that's going to be pretty bad for us because his ability to stun could be the difference between a win and a loss, and if both guns are pointing, like if I'm looking this direction here, I can cover his ass, and he can cover that area down there. And I'm not too worried about something coming up behind me because it's a Ferdinand and a GW Tiger. GW Tiger can go one of two directions. He can either come down the middle or he can go down south. I don't expect the GW Tiger to go hill climbing, and if he does go hill climbing, he's going to take a long time to do it. So that was my rough thought process because there's one or two routes that he's going to come down. So the GW Tiger heads over there and is using the bushes as like a form of concealment in order to avoid being shot. And I'm actually, the reason I'm aiming here is because I'm expecting the Ferdinand to come around the middle and just head down towards it. And I thought he was in the middle there. I genuinely did. That's why I stopped and aimed. Then I glanced at the map and realised, oh no, he's not there. And then I immediately bolt forward and tried to assist the artillery because the artillery did do about 531 damage to him. And the artillery is going to try and avoid getting shot the best as he can. Because he is in a GW Tiger. GW Tiger is not a small vehicle, and I am going to sit and aim here for a wee second just to make sure that this shot hits and I do some damage to him while the GW Tiger is distracting him. And I did 474 damage here, leaving him as a 2-shot for me still. So I'm going to immediately duck down into the cover here because I do not want to give him a shot into my lower front plate in this sort of situation. The lower front plate is a weakness to the mouse gun, which I'm assuming is the gun he's using. So, yeah, I just critical hitted a Ferdinand. So now I have 6 shots remaining. 2 heat rounds, 1 AP round, and 3 HE rounds. So, I move forward to try and proxy spot him through the rock, and then I spot the GW Tiger behind me. And oh my god, this scared the crap out of me. I honestly thought I was dead here. If that GW Tiger had have set and aimed that shot, this game would have been completely different. Or if he had just rushed behind me and just rammed me or something, this game would have ended completely differently. Because he wasted that shot. If he had landed, if the shot had landed here, I'd be dead. That's just far out, I would have died. But because it landed here, it landed just outside of his splash radius, and that meant I survived. And that was unbelievably lucky because that looks like the big gun to me. And the GW Tiger, I believe its gun's like a 210mm. So now we have a GW Tiger behind us. I'm not going to focus on GW Tiger right now because he does have like a 25-second reload or something like that there, if I had to guess. So I'm giving myself roughly the time for like 2, maybe 3 shots. GW Tiger seemed to fall back a little bit, but now he seems to be coming forward a little bit, at least in my view. And I put that shot straight into the ground like an idiot. And I immediately tried to go forward because I'm really wanting to make sure that I make this guy panic. And he panics. He like moves his hull around, and I'm just thinking, okay, how do I deal with an artillery that can possibly splash me from behind this rock? And he's actually coming forward to challenge me here. And this is the decision. What would you do in this scenario? Would you go around the right side or the left side? Honest question, because if you think about it, the logical way of doing it would be go to the right side, because if you go to the right side, you're concealed and you can possibly spot him without being spotted back. But if the artillery is aiming there, even if you spot him and fall back immediately, there's a good chance the splash damage will kill you. And if you do manage to spot him without being spotted back in return, then chances are he's going to blind shot that bush. So my gut feeling here was initially to head over to the right side bush, but then I think, no wait, what would I be doing if I was that artillery and I've only got HE rounds remaining, so my HE round standard damage per shot is 530. So this is roughly like I would say probably a 30% chance that I don't kill him. So I'm banking on these odds of killing him in one shot because I actually don't know the armor model for the GW Tiger. So I'm kind of panicking a little bit because I'm not entirely sure where to shoot him. I know don't shoot him in the hull. That's about all I can think of right now. That's just one thing. Don't shoot him though. Don't shoot him in the hull. And he was aiming towards where I guessed, and you have no idea how much of a relief that was that I killed him with that last shot. But that was 9,600 damage, 5,500 blocked in the IS-4 with 7 kills. This tank, like the one thing I do need to point out about this game, this is the power of the IS-4 when people are not spamming premium rounds at you. Not a single premium round was fired at me in this game. And by the way, the reason I carry the premium rounds I do, those are exclusively saved most of the time for mouses and Type 5s. Those tanks are the only reason I actually carry those premium rounds. Normally, like if those tanks were pre-buff state, I wouldn't carry any. But I actually went in before this game and deliberately added a few premium rounds in there just to make sure that if I do come across those tanks, I do have the capability of killing them. Because at range, you honestly have no hope in hell versus a Type 5. Because Type 5, all you need to do is hit you, and he's going to do like 400, 500 damage with the HE cannon. Whereas he has no frontal weak points for you to exploit whenever you're firing AP rounds. You need to use the premium rounds. Versus a Type 5 or even a mouse. Like the mouse does at least have a gun when he needs to pin you to do damage. But finding an area where you can pin a mouse reliably, because the turret's now 260mm thick, the chances of you pinning it are about, maybe I would guess the chances of roughly pinning it would be about 40%. Because you have 258 pin in the IS-4. Your gun is basically equivalent to the 121 gun, the tier 10 Chinese medium tank. So yeah, that's like the comparison I make here. So you do need the heat rounds in order to be able to reliably compete with the ultra heavies that are extremely powerful in the game right now. You can kill them if you're in an IS-4, and I only carry 6 rounds because I couldn't justify carrying any more than that. And 6 rounds, let's do 400 by 6. 400 by 6, what's that? By 2,400. So that's technically, let's see, 440. Was 40 by 6 by 200. That's about. Let's see, 424. Let's see. What's that about? 2,000. Hang on, 2,640 roughly? I feel like that's about right. Hang on, I'm just going to do that in the calculator just here quickly to make sure. 440 by 6. I actually don't think it's enough to fully kill a Type 5 or a mouse with just the premium rounds. That's part of the reason why I carry a couple of HE rounds too. Yeah, 2,640. So that's technically not enough to kill either a mouse or an E100. Definitely not a mouse. Like I need another 2 shots to kill a mouse. But for a Type 5, it's about 1 shot off. And the thing is, with a Type 5, at least it's slow as hell. And same with the mouse, so you can get alongside them and you can put shots into the side relatively easy. So yeah. Before I ramble on any further, I'm going to go to the post-game stats. Okay, so before I actually get into the result screens, a couple things I just want to get off my chest. First off, I was shaking like a leaf after this game, like genuinely just shaking with excitement after this game. I was so goddamn happy. I wanted to shout just yes, I won that game, but then I realized I have neighbors and it was 2 o'clock in the morning, which was probably wouldn't have been a good idea. So I have no idea if that blew out the mic or not. That probably did, thinking about it, but yeah. So on to the actual result screens. That was larger than I expected, not gonna lie. Ace Tanker, Top Gun, Steel Wall, High Caliber. Let's see. So in terms of XP and credits, 4,486 XP doubled with premium count, 135,384 credits with premium count, 90,256 without, and 2,990 XP without it. So yeah, Let's see. So on to the actual team results and all. I came top of the team for obvious reasons. 9,600 damage, 1,495 base XP. Let's see. That's definitely recording and all. Yep. And I actually doubled the next highest damage in the game, who was the Ferdinand. The Ferdinand I was facing at the end of the game. That guy had a really epic game. It's just unfortunate that he was playing against me in that game, and I was on a roll. And I was 100% focused on this game when I was playing it. I was just 100%. Everything else was just blank to me. And that Ferdinand had a really epic game, but it's just unfortunate that he was facing off against me. So now let's go on to the detailed report. I don't want to sound arrogant, by the way. I was just so goddamn happy with myself whenever I had that game. So 27 hits, or 28 shots fired, 27 hits, 25 penetrations. I believe the 2 bounces were the E4 shot early on in the game, and the Ferdinand shot near the end of the game. 17 hits received, 2 penetrations, 15 non-penetrations. Let's see, 1 hit as a result of artillery splash damage, 5,480 total blocked. Let's see, and I also received 1 shot in the back from the M103, I believe it was. So that I believe that accounts for all the damage I took in that game. So let's see. So in terms of like the credits and all, I made 50,000 credits in that game, but that's purely because I have premium account active in this here. Without premium account being active, I only would have made 5,000 credits. So yeah, that just shows you how much of a difference premium account makes to your credit earning potential. But yeah, 1495 base XP, 2,243 with premium account, and just double that there, and you get the XP totals. So yeah. I believe that pretty much sums up the entire gameplay and all. So, one question I just want to ask here at the end of this game, what do you guys think is the worst tier 10? Because I honestly hear people argue that the IS-4 is the worst tier 10 in the game, which I don't think is right. I think that's kind of horseshit, and people who are saying that there are talking completely out of their ass. But if I had to, for example, I can name a worst tier 10 right now. Yak Panzer E100. I genuinely think that's probably one of the worst tier 10s in the game right now. Why people think the IS-4 is the worst, I no clue. Don't know what to say about that. So yeah, 2 questions. What do you guys think is what are you guys' opinions on the IS-4? I'm not entirely sure what people actually think of the IS-4. It's not something that comes up in it's not something I hear people talk about very often, but when I do hear people talk about it, people typically have a negative sort of connotation with it. Probably because it used to be a tier 9 heavy, as I've said. But yeah, let me know what your opinions on the IS-4 are, and let me know what you think is the worst tier 10 in the game. I'm curious to know what your general thoughts are and see if they line up with mine. So yeah, I love the IS-4 personally. I think it's a great tank. You could argue this was just a lucky game, but I tend to have decent games in the IS-4 just in general, but yeah. So I think that would be the end of this here. I don't want to let this run for too long because the last couple of recordings I've had of this here lasted 11 minutes, and that would mean I was uploading like a nearly 30-minute video to YouTube, and I don't want to have it that long. So yeah, as I said, answer for me those questions that I asked, and yeah, just give me your general opinions on the IS-4 and what you think of the worst tier 10 in the game. And let me know, what do you think of this game? I played it. I was so proud of this game when I played it. So yeah. And as you heard from me shouting, yes, at the start of that there, and I just realised I'd forgotten what time of night it was. And I actually just did that at nearly 11 o'clock at night. So that may have been a bad call. People may be pissed at me. So yeah. Let me know, as I said, in the comment section below. And thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.